Good morning. We are starting this video by giving our pigeon tower, our 17th century pigeon tower, a good haircut. It has a campsis growing up it and has had for several years now. My mother loves campsis and she's the one who planted it, but it was pointed out to us several times that you don't usually grow plants that cover the facade of such a lovely building. It really is a very pretty building, and therefore you try and keep the outside tidy. But that's what we're doing with the campsis, to be fair. We've reached a compromise with her, and she said she can live with the campsis just reaching the first line, the horizontal stone line of the pigeon tower. So that's what my brother kindly did during the last fine days of this year. In fact, years ago, it didn't seem to interest anyone that they had entire pear trees growing up the pigeon tower. But that was a long time ago. So this is a postcard from the beginning of the 20th century, one of three that I know of the house, and the only one which includes the pigeon tower. And here is the said pigeon tower, covered in trees. Nice postcard. Here you can see very nicely how the limes were trimmed as well. The old house. Back in the West Wing now, and I've been watching quite a few other vlogs recently of other people who have Chateau, and I noticed that many of them, in fact all of the ones I've seen so far, had wallpaper all over the house in many rooms, and we have absolutely nothing. The entire surfaces of the first floor at least are clad in wood paneling known as lambris in French. They're both nice, but I think that it's my personal opinion, you have less risk of anything coming unstuck when you have wood paneling like this. So this one is two-tone. This is the antechamber of the West Wing. A bit of the floor. Yeah, and I just wonder who made the choice and for what reasons of putting wood paneling here instead of wallpaper. Must have been some determining factor. Price or fashion, I don't know. And if among you there are any wallpaper specialists and you know the answer to that question, don't hesitate to tell me in the comments. Here you can see another window held together with one metal bar, a couple of bits of wood and a piece of string. We are going to have to try and figure out what to do with this little room. It's very narrow, and I say it's a walk-in wardrobe. I have no clue really. None of us do what it was used for originally and why it was put there, but after the fire we decided to put it back, even though we still have no real plans for it. And then the pink room, so called the pink room because, as you can see, it's pink. And it used to be pink as well before the fire, only it was a much uglier, more garish pink. It was a sort of very deep, dark Barbie pink. So we changed all that. You can see the room is really not very big, and I used to share this room until my teenage years with my elder brother and my younger sister. It's not a huge room, but the ceilings here on the first floor are all at 3 meters 22 about. So it still makes them quite cozy. Also, this is in need of candelabras for proper lighting, curtains, a curtain rail. The window is also held shut with sticks. Yes, nothing's ready here. When I lived here with my 2 siblings, there was no heating at all. And in fact, 7 family members fitted into just 2 rooms. And this is the room my parents used to share with my 2 younger brothers. This was many years ago. And the nice thing about the underfloor heating is that you don't have these not very pretty electric radiators all over the place. They're always a bit of a bother. Wherever you put them, they don't look pretty, they're out of place, you have to paint them, it's difficult to clean behind them, etc. So there's the pigeon tower out of the window. This room, like all the others, is very bare. It needs candelabras putting up. There should be a lovely mirror, an old mirror over the fireplace. Curtains. The floor needs putting in. Now, the reason we had to share 2 rooms between us was just that it was probably in our best interest. There was no heating over the other side, the other wing of the house. So 7 people in 2 rooms, there was a better chance of keeping each other warm. We weren't all sleeping in 2 beds, but like in the old days, but it was the next best thing. And besides, the main reason was that the other wing of the house, the entire floor was like this in a dip shape. The whole floor had sagged through several decades of it raining inside the house because part of the roof was missing when my parents bought the house. So it was a bit of a problem, and you couldn't put any furniture in there at all, let alone people. I say there was no heating, it's not entirely true. There was 1 electric radiator in my parents' bedroom, just in front of the fireplace, and on really cold days we used to almost sit on it and burn our behinds, but it was worth it. I have very fond memories of that radiator. Now you may be thinking, isn't it bizarre putting down expensive flooring when the windows aren't even fastened properly and it can rain indoors if there's a storm, for example? And you're right, but don't worry, things are about to get much worse.
Yeah, the left window is, oh gosh, it's almost completely stuck because all this wood is completely rotten along here. You can see it better on the actual window. Because there should have been 2 little drainage holes, one here and one the other side, so that when the water runs down the window, it drains onto this here. But in fact, they never made the little holes because there's no sign of them at all. So the wood has completely rotted. And if I shut the window, you can see the whole window frame is completely rotten.